Adversity defines champions, and in this video we're going to talk about the adversity behind a recession, the 3 truths of a recession, and the 3 solutions that you can use to advance your life throughout recessionary times, economic contractions, market crashes, etc. Here's the truth, okay? And this is just an overall concept. Like, a recession is defined, which right now we're going through this in 2022, a recession is simply defined as a few consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth, which means that gross domestic product, meaning the overall purchases in an economy, dries up for the course of a few quarters, so 6 months or so, right? And that is defined as a recession, right? And typically, alongside a recession, inflation usually happens just before a recession, which causes rates to increase and consumer sentiment to decrease, all that good stuff, right? So let's talk about the 3 truths of a recession, and then I'm gonna walk you through the 3 solutions that you can implement right now. And my name's Bill Hauser, by the way. I run a $45 million valuation company I built in 4.5 years as a 30-year-old, and these are all just my learnings on my own growth journey that I'm sharing now with the world. So I hope you find value in this. Let's go through the 3 truths. The first truth is that inflation only matters in relativity, right? What does that mean? So inflation only matters in relativity. I'll give you an example. Inflation is not a big deal right now for buying cars, as an example, right? Because if you were to go trade in your current car and go buy a new car, although new cars are a lot more expensive right now in 2022, that's not a problem because trade-ins are twice as high in value. So you're getting 40% more for your trade-in right now than you are for the 20% rate hike for new cars. So there's a net 20% difference, meaning that if you buy a car right now, you're actually gonna make out better than if you wait until after inflation, because you're gonna get so much more for your used car in relativity to the increase in the new car price. I hope that makes sense, but that is related to any other area in business. And at the end of the video, I'm gonna show you the 3 specific solutions with your own pricing strategy, if you run a business or if you're within a business, how you can fight back against inflation through 3 strategies, okay? So the second truth around recessions is very simple, and a lot of people miss this. It's that money does not disappear. Money does not disappear throughout a recession, right? So when people pull their money out of the stock market, okay, you feel like money is disappearing because people aren't buying as much stuff, but the money's still there. It's in a bank account. It's still gonna be spent on something. Money can't disappear. Matter cannot disappear on planet Earth. That's a physics principle, right? Matter is neither created or destroyed, right? Same thing with energy. So the money's gonna be somewhere, right? And I'm gonna explain in the 3 solutions, how do you actually navigate against that, right? And then the third thing, which is super important, is that bounce backs always happen. Like, no matter what, at the end of any contraction, a bounce back will happen, right? And I know it's hard to focus on that sometimes because you can be so wrapped up in the moment of what's happening right now that you can forget that things always will bounce back, right? So let's dive into the 3 solutions to help you navigate through recessionary times, market contractions, bubbles, etc. And I'm gonna start with the first one, which is the rule of thumb is that during hard times, you're gonna have to work twice as hard to get half the result, right? So if you wanna get half the result that you had during good times, you're gonna have to work twice as hard on your craft, on your skills, on your focus, on your commitment to get half the results. That means if you wanna get equal the results to what you had in good times, that means you're gonna have to work 4 times as hard. And that means if you wanna double your results during hard times, you're gonna have to 8x. Okay, think about that. You're gonna have to 8x your effort to double your results. So if you wanna double your revenues, double your income, whatever it is, you're gonna have to work 8 times harder during an economic contraction to get double the results than what you would in good times, right? So that's the first solution, is to just realize that, embrace it, and say, hey man, let's strap in, let's work harder than we've been doing before, and let's actually make something of this, right? The second solution are these 3 solutions around inflation and around people not buying stuff, which is what you need to fight against if you're in business. Let me sit down for a second. So Let me walk you through this. The three solutions are: number one, raising prices; number two, buying low. So number one is raising prices. Number two is buying low. And number three is differentiating your product or service better, okay? If you do these three things, okay, see my dog Jade is loving this right now. She's crying. She's like, man, this recession talk's amazing. But I want to make sure that you implement one of these three things. You either raise prices to fight back against inflation. You either better differentiate your service, which means that you offer more value per dollar spent by your customers or clients so that there's a true value exchange happening. Or number three, you buy low, right? This is how you see companies and businesses gobble up market share during recessionary times, is they buy low, buy low, buy low, buy low, because everything's on discount after the inflationary period, after the recession starts. So be ready to buy low and have that cash in order to be able to buy low so you can pounce on opportunities. Like Warren Buffett says, he's always sitting on a lot of cash so you can buy things on discount when the time is right, okay? And then last but not least, so those are the three solutions to inflation, which is solution number two. So the first solution, again, is you got to understand you're going to have to work twice as hard to get half the results. So you control that equation however you see fit. The second one is these three solutions against inflation and or lack of spending, which I just shared, which is raise prices, buy low, or better differentiate your service. So that's the second tip and principle. The third and last one is this. Man, you got to operate with urgency, and you must be sprinting around, understanding that if you're not operating with urgency, you're not going to be on offense. All of the people who see success through recessionary times, market contractions, they are on offense. They're not on defense. They're not conserving. They're not protecting their money, right? They're not protecting their effort. They are pushing, 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 because they know that first rule says I'm going to have to work twice as hard to get half the results. So you are operating with urgency, 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 like you never have before. If you do these three things, these three categories of things, right? Embrace the three facts that I gave you in the beginning of the video, you won't have problems during a recession. You just won't, right? But the problem is most people don't do this. So I hope you found value in this video. If you did, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are trying to educate ambitious people, game changers, market makers, okay? The most ambitious people in their trade. We're trying to give you the tools, the tactics, the information to take your game up a level and to crush the excuses in your life. So subscribe to this channel, leave a comment below with anything you had thoughts on or videos you want me to make more information on, and always download our tools bundle in the description of the video so you can get all my best business growth tools for free. That's all I got. My name's Bill Hauser, here to serve you. Stay great, stay powerful, stay amazing, and I'll see you in the next video.